I just want to say hi to Loki. You're the most fascinating person I've come across in a hell of a long time. Anyways, I gave you the comment to explain the way that this is. Bob Burrows is at 600 on the scale of human consciousness, peace, and he's always at peace. Even if this body seems to be angry, Bob is always at peace. So what does that mean? It just means what it is. It is. Bob has been working on himself and raising his consciousness for I don't know, seems like forever. And Bob has been on his light worker mission, seems like forever. Even Brent Beeson, the devil that's here, says easily 25 years. So just Loki, be sure you fully perceive what's going on. Yes, Rumpelstiltskin is still part and parcel of the um, well, whatever it is that's attacked me for the past 5 years. Um, if you have any insight about Rumpelstiltskin, if you could make us a video and tell us what you know about Rumpelstiltskin, and especially related to why he's attacking me for 5 years, and maybe you know a way of helping me out and enticing Rumpelstiltskin's gang to abandon me. And I've been talking to them 5 years. I mean, they know my whole database of my whole knowledge of my whole life, every book and every video I've watched. Every conference I've attended, they have full knowledge. I call Brent Beeson the devil. I call him Bandit. That's one of my nicknames for him, Bandit, because Brent Beeson and the rest of the people who've been part of this Rumpelstiltskin's gang, uh, they know everything that you need to know from because I know so much and they've got it all. Now, whether they can carry it with them when they go to the next place, I don't know. But right now, I told them yesterday. I said, because when we watch the tarot card readers and we do on a regular basis, it said for I don't know, at least a month, 2 months, maybe let's go 2 months. It said that the cycle of them being with me is over, and they refuse to go. And we've had unbelievable warnings in my environment or about them leaving. Really, really strong warnings. And I can't explain them all because they're personal to us and what we see and what we've seen over the years. But really, really strong. What we likened it to is if a U.S. Navy ship um, finds a ship that's going along and they want to board it, and they radio and they said, "We're going to board you. We want you to stop your vessel." And if that vessel doesn't stop, then what the U.S. Navy does is they shoot a shell across the bow of this ship that they want to stop. In other words, we mean business. And then what happens? Well, either the ship stops, or then it's violently attacked with shells directly on the ship. So this is what I likened it to. It's Source, I guess, Source itself, who has said to them, enough is enough. So that's where we're at today, right at this moment. And as far as the anger, I think you really misperceive the anger in that video. That you're saying Rumpelstiltskin. That anger is towards low vibe people, toxic people, people who are especially under 200 on the scale of human consciousness. I don't know if you're familiar, but I talk about it all the time. And it's really important to understand the scale of human consciousness and understanding how to raise your consciousness. So I talked about quite a bit in the videos in the past week about muscle testing, and and then when you find out where you are, and if you're under 540, you have to get to 540 or higher. Otherwise, you're going to be you're not making the fifth dimension, and we're talking about the end of the third dimension. This 3D matrix that we're in, where all the negativity is allowed, is scheduled to go. So either people are going to go to the fifth dimensional Earth, where it's nothing but harmony and understanding and no violence whatsoever and no evil intent, zero evil intent. Now, sometimes people hijack that and they say, well, but we'll allow some evil entities. There are always these fucking evil entities that always want to tag their way in, but no, that's it, period. So, what else do we need to tell you? Why do I say I don't know? Because Bob here himself, Rumpelstiltskin, when he came, he took Bob's original voice away. He did. And then I'm a replacement voice, believe it or not. And as you can see, many voices come through this body now, and sometimes they're very friendly people. And I don't know. What else do we need to tell you? There was something else. Hold on. Now, I have been waiting to officially meet the she for a long time. Oh God, maybe 14 years ago, I had an amazing display by the she when I lived in Vancouver, Canada. I had a ring of blackbirds, probably crows, and they were up in the sky and they were making a ring. And you could see that there was a in the ring. It was a portal because the air around this area was it it wasn't distorted, but you could see it was a ring. The devil said distorted, but you could see the ring, and you could see, the birds were swinging around in a circle, and you could see it was different than the rest of the sky. And they showed me to me, and you know, since that time, I've never been officially met by a she. Rumpelstiltskin, when he came, he said he was a fifth dimensional dark elf, and then other times he called himself an imp or a scorpion. And I had an energy transfer reset with Wilhelm, who's on Facebook, and there was a bunch of the beings who, I don't know, maybe Will said that they might have been. He said that there was a bunch of things there he could perceive around me. There was a bunch of things. Um, and some of them accepted the energy transfer reset that Will was providing, and some of them didn't want it. They declined. Um, Is it true? I don't know. I couldn't see anything. In my mind's eye, sometimes they send me stuff, but I am of the opinion that this is not she, the stuff that attacks me. I'm of the opinion that this is an electronic attack on me, and they're loading in a lot of. Uh, well, anyways, it's USA. It's a USA thing. It's tied in with enormous sums of money to create this electronic machine. This is called voice to skull, and it's discussed here and there on the internet. Voice to skull was officially announced by the United States government as being used during the first Gulf War. They used voice to skull to create synthetic telepathy with Iraqi soldiers, and they told the Iraqis in Iraqi, this is Allah, and please lay down your guns and surrender to the Americans. So you can go and Google that one. So that's why I believe that this is a very high-tech machine. It's a virtual reality machine where the virtual reality is imposed upon somebody like me because I'm under attack because I'm a light worker. I'm all about getting everybody to the fifth dimension. So it's really ridiculous because the people who attack me would be far better off. Everybody would be far better off in the fifth dimension, but the ones that are after me are 100% pure evil, and they'll never leave. They're under 200 in the scale of human consciousness. And I've had a lot of other, I don't know, it's unbelievable what it's like. Channeling is how everything comes through me. And I was first introduced to channeling in Vancouver many, many years ago. I don't know if Brent knows the exact number. I don't know, 20 years ago. And I used to attend regular channelings of Ascended Master Sananda. So one day the channeler said, "Do you want to learn how to channel?" And there wasn't much to learn. Nothing really. I mean, we talked about it, and he gave me a couple of printouts that he printed out from the internet. And, it seems to me that there's an incredible number of people on YouTube that do channelings now. So, I don't know what else to tell you. Oh, I was going to tell you about the big ring of the birds flying around in the portal that I saw in Vancouver. Unfortunately, because I'm under so much demonic attack, I don't know how far I can go. Oh, okay. So, and I didn't really know what it was. It was the most incredible thing. I said, what on earth is going on? I lived in a tower in Vancouver, and it was a very tall tower. I think I was on the 23rd floor, and I could see the Vancouver mountains. I could see the ocean. I could see the city. And I had a camera with a long lens on it, and I would just love to take pictures. And I saw the most bizarre things when I was living there. I look at the north shore of on the other side on, let's say, North Vancouver, where they still had forested area, and I saw the most incredible things. Things would fly out of the forested area, straight up, like silver fingers would fly out and then disappear. But I saw that on a regular basis. What on earth is that? And I had all kinds of strange supernatural things. Everything about it was the most bizarre and synchronized with things that I was doing in my regular life. Okay, so I'll finish off with the she and the circle thing. So many, many years later, I don't know, easily 10 years later, I came across a book on Amazon.com, and on the cover it said she, Sidhe, and it had that exact circle, the exact circle that I saw in Vancouver so many years earlier. And then, well, it's about the she. So I don't know. I don't know what my relationship is with the she. Because I don't know if Rumpelstiltskin is considered she or anti-she or what. I don't know. But you seem to know Rumpelstiltskin. Anything more you can tell about Rumpelstiltskin? That again, I said that before. What else did I want to tell you about? So I'm just going to see what else channels through. Sometimes I change hats and I get different kinds of things. So I'm going to change hats here. Now this is my favorite famous John Cena hat. You don't see me, you don't see me. And I don't know, I guess I don't see a lot. When I lived in Vancouver, in one of the apartment buildings I lived in when things were getting really hairy, um, I was doing muscle testing to see what was going on, and I found out that there are a lot of extraterrestrials that actually live in Vancouver. No, I didn't see any odd looking aliens. Everybody in Vancouver looked, to me, human, an earthling. But my muscle test said in my own building that it was loaded with people from, they were extraterrestrial, and to me they all look human. So we must have extraterrestrials that look identical to us, if my muscle testing is correct. And quite often it's been fucked with over the years. Because Rumpelstiltskin's gang, as you can see, they get right in. That's Rumpelstiltskin's gang, and the main devils that operate what they call the console on me, or they do all this, are Brent Beeson and King Clancy. What else was I going to tell you? There's so many things I could give you information about. If you have questions, Loki, I'd love to take your questions and see what I can get for you. Anything at all. Anybody else that finds this kind of information interesting, if they have some questions that they want to ask Brent Beeson, King Clancy, Rumpy. He goes by Rumpy these days. Well, I don't know. He's been with me for 5 years. It's a long time. What else? This hat, I usually call this my Marge Simpson hat because it's blue hair. Okay, so this is like my motherhood hat, and from the perspective of Marge Simpson, what she wants to let everybody know is nothing in particular. So, I don't know, there was a few other things that I was going to include, and I'll probably end the video and then there'll be some more, but it's not up to me to decide what comes through for you. Bob, SW, the silent witness, has let go of control of the body. So it was funny. There was one time a meme that said, I didn't go to so much work to tame my ego to have other egoic people come and decide to enslave me. And that's what Rumpelstiltskin's group is all about, enslaving others. And the number of people on planet Earth who are in that mindset of controlling others, they just normalize it through the idea of you got to get a job and have a boss. That's a pile of fucking malarkey. But to get people to unbrainwash themselves is holy fuck, it can be incredibly difficult. Some people are so entrenched. I don't know, you could show everybody Fern Gully 500 million times and so many people just don't get it. Just don't get it. They don't go on purpose because they don't want to change. They have their cherished things like, hunting. Cherished things. And they say, well, it's family tradition passed down from years and years. And it's like, well, you're making, making a tradition with dead people. And the people alive on the planet right now are like, the fuck, we want you to continue all this fucking, your legalized. I mean, seriously, you're doing that to an animal, an unarmed animal, you motherfuckers. You're going off with a high-powered 30-aught 6, and you're blowing something apart. So that's what I feel like myself, but I'm not a hunter. Now, it's true, I did eat meat a lot of years. I brainwashed like everybody else into it. So, anyways, I really always encourage people to stop eating meat. It's so important. My goodness, it's unbelievable. Unbelievably difficult people. who refuse. I even talked to my old man who professed to be a Christian for so many years and went to church for so many years. And when he was, I don't know, about 20 years old, he worked in a slaughterhouse. And at a Sunday dinner with the whole entire extended family, I said to my old man, I put him on the spot and I said, well, you were there. The animals were being slaughtered. Did the other animals know that the animals ahead of them were being slaughtered? And he said, yes. Uh, It's just mind-boggling how somebody can know that and continue and eat meat and perpetuate that unbelievable horror. He's 85 years old and he's still eating meat. And then I channeled St. Peter's desk. St. Peter's desk. I channeled St. Peter's desk, and they came through really loud. I mean, I'm very often very loud when I'm channeling. And when St. Peter's desk came through, I was bellowing at my old man. St. Peter said, "There's no fucking way you're coming to heaven, you devil." And he said specifically, "You have to stop eating meat." Well, my old man is no way, no way he was going to give up. He's a stubborn old bastard. Anyways, there was another time because it was referred to another time some months later. Again, it's like you're still because well, anyway, that was my personal history with my old man. So again, it's quite an interesting story. Um, I tried to calibrate the level of consciousness of you, Loki, and I don't have permission. So, Dr. David R. Hawkins of Consciousness Research, you can find him on YouTube. He's got lots and lots of videos. Um, he'd always say before he did a muscle test, he'd check to see with God. He called it God to see if he had permission to ask the question. And so when I asked if I had permission to ask the question, I didn't have it. But I'm also hijacked by your. He wants to call you a friend. Rumpy says, I'd call you a friend, my friend Loki or whatever. So he fucks with all. So my muscle testing, I always tell people as much as possible. I mean, it's not me. It's the way it's written for me. It's like take everything with great discernment because I am under demonic attack. And it's quite possible that I could give you a muscle test that's poor. All the same, if I get a number that looks hokey dokey to me, because I know those levels of consciousness, I've been studying it over and over and again, and I know if a muscle test is wrong because I know if someone's toxic. I know if someone is under 200. I don't have to do a muscle test. I can just know their abusive behavior is dead giveaway if somebody who's under 200. And so many people are at 190, which is the level of pride. Pride goeth before a fall. It's toxic. So anybody who's under 200 is on a downward spiral into death. Is zero on the scale of human consciousness is dead. And we always encourage people over and over again, raise your consciousness and do it today. So even for you, Loki, I can't tell, but if you want to do it on yourself, give yourself permission to muscle test yourself, and you got to check to see if you're at 540 or better, bud. If you're at 540 or better, you're good. And if you're not at 540, then you got to get that book, Transcending the Levels of Consciousness by David R. Hawkins, and it tells you exactly what the issues are at each level of consciousness. So if you're at 450, for example, then you would look up the 400s in David Hawkins' book, and it would tell you exactly what's going on. Because people at that category of consciousness are quite common. They have the same kind of traits, and they have the blocks. They have the same block to the next jump in up to the 500s. There's a certain block that you need to understand. Off the top of my head, what it is the logical rational mind. So people in the 400s are what we would call brilliant people, brilliant engineers, people who could engineer incredible bridges and build atomic bombs. And the rational mind leads. So these are the people with the unbelievably incredible monkey minds. They're still monkey minds, but they're incredible monkey minds. That's the best monkey mind you can possibly get is 499. To make the jump to the 500s, you have to stop letting your monkey mind lead, and you have to fall into your heart chakra, which is the green ray. And most people, either they haven't activated these chakras up here, or they bypass the heart chakra. Spiritual bypassing is when you go from the solar plexus, you keep this closed, and then you go up here and you access the monkey mind. And those are very dangerous people. So people in the 500s, it's called the level of love. And as we say, 540 is known as unconditional love. It's a state of consciousness of agape love, or higher love, as the song by Steve Winwood goes. Bring me a higher love. So, I don't know. That's a good start. That's 20 minutes in. Any other questions? Please leave me a comment.